of the supporters. You can hear hey yo, hey yo, hey yo coming through the effects microphones, and when the fans see themselves on the big screen, they'll be on their feet. Come on, Senya. Inyamikwe. Yeah, the supporters, and you see a number of them pointing towards the big screen. Dario Montero can't be pointing anywhere except on the field of play, looking to get his players away from this defensive situation that they've been pressed into time and time again by the Zambian attack. Nice to see how many youngsters are in the stadium tonight. This is the Region 5 Youth Games after all. Good touch on the near side. Banyamikwe might have taken a bit of a tickle from Declides. Second one of Zambia. No score at the moment, halfway through the first half. Even Fofana back, adding to the defense of Mozambique. And Fofana it is that gets the ball away with his first touch. Pick up from Uwiendo, but he's caught in possession now. An opportunity for Mozambique on the counter. It's good defense from Mansenya. Malaya into Perry. Perry continuing to control the flow of the match for Zambia in the pockets. Keeper should be able to claim that, Belmiro, and does, in front of the very tall Marcel Zimba. Just not getting quite the right ball at the moment, and maybe the tactic from Zambia should be to use him as a target man, and instead of using the flanks in Inyamikwe and Mwanza, get a player to come through the middle, like Joseph Liteta or Samson Malaya, and get the big fella Marcel Zimba to stand with his back to goal right on the edge of the penalty area, or maybe just inside it near the penalty spot, knock the ball down to whichever position the two attackers decide to come through from. Away by Nielsen. Contained by Simpasa. Until the side creating opportunities, neither side really giving anything away either, but has an opportunity for Mwanza. Seems to have just switched over from his right hand side to the left, but he slipped over and was caught offside anyway. Four times they've been caught offside, have Zambia. Yeah, I don't think there can be too much dispute about that. One of two players in the starting lineup from young Kapiwi Celtic. The other is Aaron Simpaza, the right-sided fullback. Oh, Louis in a bit of space now. Louis with good first. From Atletico Maputo, proving to be a little bit of a handful for the centre-back. Seven fouls in the opening 25 minutes of this Group B encounter. Cagliati watchful. Well, there's quite a long run up here. I don't think that player is going to do anything about that. Woefully over the top of everything, including the defensive ball, and disappointing from Chuman. Dario Montero wouldn't be too impressed with that either, I don't think. Referee wants the goal kick to be retaken by Shedrick Kalyati. Hamansenya. Siame creating a little bit of space for themselves before launching with Simpasa, probably through to Zimba. Still persisting with Nyamikwe on the flanks, and that's going to be a free kick in a very, very good position indeed, with Zimba going down. I think the final touch came from Adiano. Desportivo Costa del Sol. We've just had a Mozambican free kick in a promising position. This one is even better though. Maybe a little too close to the edge of the area. It's difficult for a player to try and get the ball up and down, but I think that Mwanza, maybe Piri Mula will want to have a little sniff at this one. I think it's going to be left to Mwanza. A double dummy, and Mwanza into the wall. It's another opportunity though for Piri. Mozambique. Hacha. Uyendo. Knocked forward by Siame. Now Simpasa. He's got a lovely run about him. Has the right-sided fullback Simpasa. Nyamikwe. They still have possession. Malaya making himself available, but such is the strength of the Mozambican defence. They're giving absolutely nothing away, and even when they did with that free kick and Adiano's foul on Marcel Zimba, they weren't anything of it either. Larson away from Mozambique. Chuman not able to contain, and Zambia now have numbers forward with Zimba. Nyamikwe. That's gone out of play. Well, they continue to find themselves in good spaces. They continue to push ball down either flank. It's the final delivery that seems to just be lacking in pure quality for Zambia right now. Hit away by Hamansenya. Unlike the previous match, and if you did watch it, South Africa versus the Seychelles, so there's very much one-way traffic. This one, there's very little headway being made by either side. It's a good little ball in towards Malaya. And Mwanza, got a bit of pace about him. Mwanza beats off one challenge. Decides to go for goal rather than find Zimba in the middle. And if that ball has been struck with his left foot, he's been playing on the right flank for quite some time, so he's playing now as an inverted winger. And if he'd stopped and turned and gone inside and used his stronger right boot, that was an option. He tried to shoot for goal on the outside of the right boot, hoping perhaps more for a rebound off Belmiro, that Zimba could benefit from. Worked neither, was there any rebound from the Mozambican goalkeeper. Half an hour played. In Lilongwe, no goals yet. Can't imagine either side in the opening ambit would be pleased to take away 1 point away from Lilongwe, but still a long way to go in this match, an hour of football. Opportunity for Michael. It's easy headed away by Hamansenya. Now a chance for Emmanuel Mwanza, but he's starting so deep this time. Coach Montero wants to throw in, he's not going to get it. Captain Ed Milton was there on the challenge. He must have got the final touch. Haman Senya goes back to Kalyati. This pitch is going to take a lot of traffic. It seems to have been holding up rather nicely over the traffic that's been on it since the start of the tournament on the Friday. There were matches here in the ladies' competition. Yesterday there were matches as well. And today this is the fourth match that's taken place. There's lots more still to come, including the finales. Zambia again opting for the long ball up towards Marcel Zimba. Didn't work this time. Fofana with an opportunity that he tries to link onto. This is Luis. Offside flag stayed down. And it's a goal kick. Well, Fofana there with a really good opportunity. Maybe he thought he was offside, but you have to play to the whistle. Fans that have been in the stadium for the South Africa-Seychelles match absolutely spoiled by 11 goals coming through in that encounter in the men's competition, and earlier on in the women's competition, 20 goals coming through in 2 matches. Ball cleared away by Declides. Piri will work it back. And down goes Chiron in the middle of the park. It'll be a free kick to Mozambique. And the fans have been spoiled by 31 goals over the course of the entire day today, with the women's competition in the morning. That's a bit of a strong challenge. I don't think there was any intention from Aaron Piri to cause injury to Chiron, but there might have been a handball in there as well from the Zambian captain. Fans underneath of the flags of their chosen country, maybe. Out on the far side of the Bingu National Stadium, the western side. The side, bigger part, the eastern side. So what is it going to take for these two sides to break the deadlock? Chiron seems to have recovered from the knock that he's taken. Larson received some medical attention. He goes back into the defensive structure for the Mozambicans. Well, there's absolutely nobody that's likely to get onto the end of that pass. Away by Siame. Now, this is if Mwanza is back on his favourite right-hand side. Ball contained by Larson. Left eye pull back and away by Eduardo. Looking for Luis. Can't find him. Turn from Piri. Simpasa. He's got a bit of space in front of him, and maybe he does need to go on his own here. The header away comes from Adiano. Space on the edge of the area. Nearly fell to Marcel Zimba. The danger's not over yet. Might be now, though. We have a little break in play. That's the reason why, with that marauding forward by Marcel Zimba a few moments ago, there seems to be well, there definitely is a Mozambican defender that prostrates on the park next to goalkeeper Belmiro, waiting for the medical personnel to be introduced. It looks as if the injury will be treated off the field of play, and we'll have this one back underway for you. Good work again by Nyamikwe, who makes his reappearance out on the left-hand flank for Zambia. It does seem to be much more of a penetrative sense for Zambian suddenly, but the Mozambicans are playing really well. Now, It seems to be a lack of light out in the middle. Is there a floodlight or two that have gone out? This does seem to be a little less light than it was just a second or two ago. Simpasa into the middle. That could have quite easily been an own goal. Good work done by Belmiro as well to even prevent the corner. I can tell you that the man who was injured, Eduardo, is back on the field of play. Headed away by Haman Senya. Piri will go wide once again. Mwanza, does he go more the direct route this time around? And Mwanza will strike. Nothing happening for either side. One of the changes that are likely to come from Mr. Ian Bakala. The contest is a tight one. Neither side able to really make any creative play near the opposition penalty area. It'll be a free kick for the foul on Chuma. Opportunities for Mozambique have been few and far between. There's a whole gaggle of the tall players in the area, though. Sent in by Edmilson, headed away from the danger zone by Siame. Pick up here from Simpasa. Siame will calm things down for a moment, fetching and carrying from the captain Piri. Some nice pressure being exerted by Mozambique at the moment, and Zambia are having to be very, very watchful indeed. Ball nearly falling for Inyamukwe. Declides having to do the tidying up on a couple of occasions, but they've lost possession again, have Mozambique. And with time heading up towards the 40-minute mark, certainly opportunities here for Zambia. Again, that long ball up towards Simba. And again, there's no problem as Edmilson will make the clearance. Mwanza, a bit of space for Mwanza. The turn, oh, he tried to be too fancy, Simba. Trying to do the little cross switch into the back of the net and try and wrong foot Bill Murray. Wrong footed himself to the striker, and the offside flag was up anyway from Mr. Sohang from Botswana. 5 times offside now in the first half of the Zambian outfits. Chuma to Fofana, back to Chuma. Chiron. Declides, cleared away by Siame. Mozambique wanting to end the first half on the attack. They're giving possession away, though. We are inside the final 5 minutes of regulation time in the long. With no goals in this one. The free kick to Mozambique, though. And I must say that over the last little while, Mozambique have been pushing forward. They win a free kick, it gets defended, but they just stay near the halfway line. It's a high line that's been played by the Mumbas. Chiron with a free kick. Flicked on away from the danger zone by Malaya for Zambia. Edmilson will come back to the right-hand side, and once again it's Declides. They're giving possession away. Now Zimba with ball at his feet. Almost gets dragged back by Declides. I don't think the referee saw the tug of the jersey. Big header from Hamansenya. Easy pick-up for Chumam. Eduardo into the middle. They're giving possession away. Chance for Mwanza. Good save. Belmiro. Malaya with the ball to the middle. It was a really good opportunity, and it took a proper save to deny Zambia going in front just before half-time. Ball stolen away by the midfielder, Samson Malaya. Nothing from the resultant corner. Declides will clear for Mozambique. Only as far as Hamansenya. Luis. Oh, Luis has done nicely here. And they've got space and time. Mozambique. Oh, it's a fabulous challenge. Coming through from the midfielder, Joseph Liteta. Neither side prepared to give anything away at this stage of the match. Declides. Might very well be a corner. It's not. It's a goal kick. Such an air of expectation about the FIFA World Cup finals that are taking place at the moment, into the round of 16 matches that are happening this afternoon. Always a big interest. Which is your favourite side? Who are you backing to win the title? I know that many people have their little fan groups, etc., etc. Again, offside against Zambia. There must be number 6. There's the South African coach, who will be very, very happy with his side's performance earlier today. I tell you that the Netherlands, that's Holland, Netherlands, have beaten the United States of America by 3-1 in the opening match of the round of 16 games at the FIFA World Cup finals. Don't forget to watch Argentina playing Australia at 9 o'clock Central African time. One minute of time added on by the match referee from Malawi. We are in that minute at the moment. Can Mozambique do the inexplicable and score just before the half-time break? You can see that Edmilson is over the ball. I think he's going to stand aside for the moment. So who's going to have the opportunity? Is it going to be Chiron again? Chipped over the top. Well, we've seen a couple of free kicks being chipped over the top. It is indeed Chiron that had the opportunity, and potentially the final opportunity of the first half. Siame will have the final touch of the first half for Zambia at the Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe. No goals inexplicably coming in the first half of this one after an avalanche of 31 goals in 3 matches over the course of the day in both the women's and the men's competition. No goals in this one so far, and everything to look forward to as far as the second half is concerned. Obviously going to see a change of tactic. Will it be a substitution that'll change the course of the match from either Coach Bacala or that of Dario Monteiro? Well, we'll have to stick around and wait to see how that's all going to pan out, because in the first half there haven't been any goals. There have been a couple of opportunities. Zimba had a chance, Wanza's had a chance, Malaya had that chance through the middle just a little while ago, but none of it has eventualized in a goal of any sort. And these two teams will have to re-strategize during the halftime break and come out to see what they can do in the second half of this encounter here at the Pingu National Stadium. Halftime in Lilongwe, Zambia 0, Mozambique 0. Not much to write home about as far as highlights are concerned, so we'll take you straight into the tail of the tape. Look at the goal attempts and the creation by the Zambian side. 9 creative efforts with 3 shots on target. No shots on target at all from the Mozambicans. No cards to speak about, and Zambia showing their prowess, looking to force the motion with 6 offsides. They also have 61% of the possession, and they have the only corners of the match as well. So as far as the stats are concerned, Zambia are dominant, but there's no goal so far in this encounter. And with halftime having arrived at the Lilongwe Stadium, the troops are into the dressing room looking to reorganize themselves, and we'll go down and hear what Tikeledi Chabalala has to offer from the side of the pitch. Zambia against Mozambique, and Zambia dominant as far as the theory is concerned, but in practical terms, no goals scored with 39% of the possession. Been interesting listening to the discussions in the studio of Supersport with Michael Owen in particular, talking about, and Coach Ronnie McQueen for that matter, talking about the side that are scoring goals with the minimum of possession. And it's what you do with it rather than having it. And it seems to be counting in the FIFA World Cup finals. Maybe the same applies in this one. So Tikeledi Chabalala has a guest down on the side of the pitch. And the COSAFA referees manager will have a chat to our presenter.
Of grooming and nurturing all these up-and-coming referees. Would you take us through the process of what that entails?
Thank you very much for having me. As you know, development is not a once-off activity. It's a process. And this particular tournament is very, very important in terms of development of referees as far as COSAFA is concerned. Why? Because this is the only tournament we are able to use non-FIFA referees. Unfortunately, this year, for the AFCON qualifier, we could not use non-FIFA referees, but on the women's side, we are actually using non-FIFA referees. You will find out that as COSAFA, we have been leading in terms of producing top referees. And I am so proud, and the region is so proud that when you see our representatives in the World Cup, COSAFA is the only region which managed to send 6 officials to the World Cup. And all the 6 officials are a product of the under-17. So you'll find out under-17 is where we build a strong foundation of our referees.
That is massive, and obviously that's a very big stage. But how then do you make sure that you get them ready for what lies ahead?
You'll find out that you have seen in this particular tournament, it's under-17. It's of no use to bring old referees. We also bring young referees. I think you have seen in this tournament we have the youngest, who is from Malawi, who is 14 years already, and we are developing him. He has already been to the schools tournament, and he did very well. The fact that he did very well in the schools tournament, we continue with the development process. That's why we brought him here. We have another 17 years from South Africa. A number of our youngsters coming from all the countries in the zone are actually coming to show their ability to, to officiate at this level.
I also do understand that for different tournaments, you also do make sure that you get these youngsters ready in terms of the workshops that you have. But also, how then do you assess a satisfactory performance?
What we do is we want to thank a COSAFA executive and all the stakeholders, because they allow us as the referees department that when the country is hosting, they also have to benefit in terms of our development plan. So in every tournament, COSAFA gives us 5 days to prepare the referees, the tournament referees for the tournament. But in addition, we have 10 local referees who we actually mix with the referees here so that they actually see exactly what we are doing. And for your information, in this particular tournament, we also have 3 local referees who are non-FIFA, who are the products of our development plan. We saw them before, and we wanted to continue developing them, and we brought them to this big stage.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
And that is Mr. Felix Ntanga Warima, who is the head of referees for COSAFA. But out here at the Bingu National Stadium, we're still looking forward to another 45 minutes. It is still 0-0 between the two sides, that is Zambia as well as Mozambique. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out who will come out tops and what is going to happen in the end. We are going to take a break and we'll be back right after this.
concerned as we get underway for the second half. Abdul then from Desportivo Costa del Sol comes on. He's more of a midfielder than a right-sided fullback. So maybe what Mozambique are going to do is to change their structure to a 4-3-3 and drop Abdul into the midfield, and therefore hope to have much more of attacking options during the second half than what we've seen during the first 45 minutes. It's good to have you with us this evening, wherever you might be watching this football. visionview.tv is your platform of choice. Meantime, a good ball here for Fofana. Strong challenge from Darren Plaza will stop the Mozambicans' efforts early on during the second half. Coach Dario Monteiro wants his side to be playing much more on the front foot. Lance on the left-sided fullback, trying to do just that. Again, there's an appeal that falls on deaf ears from Dario. And the throw-in will go the way of the Zambians. Supper time at the Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe. Lots of fine produce and good food to be had around this beautiful country of Malawi. It's got a wonderful climate for growing fresh produce. Mwanza, who was prolific on the right-hand side during the first half, had a little spell as an inverted winger across on the left. Again, it's a good take, or was it? Drops the ball, does Palmiro. And Yamikwe is not able to stick it away. It's only going to be a corner to Zambia, but that is as close as it gets in not being a goal. Palmiro's got an injury. Decent ball in from Mwanza, and the keeper seemed to have it covered, and then he knocked into his own player. Very, very fortunate to have the cover from Ardiano on the post. It's exactly what they should be doing, and at this young level, I think that's absolutely terrific. And he has picked up this injury. That is a suggestion more of cramp than anything else. Full name Bomero Motise, but as is the case with the Mozambicans and the Angolans and the Brazilians, to tend to use their Brazilian names, and that's exactly what we're doing in this production for the Mozambican side, referring to them by their singular names. So Palmiro back on his feet, which is a good sign, but Zambia have another corner. 4 corners to nothing, the first corner of the second half as well. And after having just missed that opportunity with Nyamike making a hash of things, can they do something different this time around? Looking for that space, but all of Mozambique are level with their own penalty area. Mwanza, Simpaza. It's a good ball to Malaya. The referee, I think, is going to issue a yellow card to one of the Zambian players. Is it going to be Zimba? Because if it's in that penalty area and it's a yellow card to Mozambique, and then surely it's got to be a penalty. But yes, it is a yellow card to Marcel Zimba for foul play. It's a decent ball in the area. That's not a decent challenge though. Foot well too high into the necessity to turn the game around, and the scoreboard will suggest that they're completely correct. Malaya, Nazim Paza forced to turn back by the substitute, Ibo. Forward by Haman Senya. Well, now there's a bit of space. Well, there was momentarily for the attack to be perpetrated by Joseph Liteta. It's going to be another free kick for Zambia. They want to take it quickly and have done with Piri. Well, feels the momentum starting to build again in favour. Once again, a ball in by Malaya. Zimba gets a touch. Is it going to be a shot? No, there isn't, because it's away by Nielsen. Here on Piri. Trying to open the game up, and the ball's headed away by Michael. And you make way into the middle. Kenneth Michael will make the clearance. Fofana. Caught in possession, Fofana by Malaya. They have numbers forward here, as they have done for much of the match, Zambia, but again, they can't make it count. And again, they give away a free kick. Again, it's Liteta who's down. Just a scrambled challenge in there by Michael on Joseph Liteta. Leads to this most recent of free kicks then for the Zambian side. Do they do something different rather than the driving efforts that we've seen through most of the evening so far? Are we going to see a better touch? Oh, that's a great save by Belmiro. Lovely shot by Mwanza. Little turning around with his back to goal, but he found the space and he found the shot as well. And once again, Belmiro will receive medical attention. This time it's the left leg that's a problem. Look at the space available, and he goes down just very, very nearly in the back of the net. And immediately he's calling for some support from the touchline. Goalkeeper Mario, the 16-year-old from Costa del Sol, is in the meantime warming up, just in case his presence is required in the final 20 minutes of this one. It's a match in Group B. There is Mario. So substitution time for Mozambique in the meantime. They bring on a Nesu for Fofana. Nesu is a midfielder from Maputo. And he comes on for Fofana. But there's another corner beckoning for Zambia. So many set pieces for the Zambian side then, and they haven't been able to orchestrate too many of them, and that one will follow the same route. And I'll tell you why, because the wind's blowing from left to right as you look out on the field of play. And so that ball was always going to find a trajectory more rapidly towards the goal of Mozambique than if it had been a still night, which it certainly isn't. It's a lovely night, it's lovely and warm, but there's quite a briskish breeze blowing behind Zambia during the second period. Louise not able to make contact. Two defenders getting a touch on each other. Ball away by Liwendo. And there's a Zambian player that's down. It might very well be Haman Senya. Lots of football still to be played in Group B. Zambia have matches to play against Seychelles and South Africa still. One might be easier than the other. Mozambique also able to play against those two opponents. But what can Dario pull out of the hat in the dying moments of this one? Hamansenya will leave the field of play to receive medical attention. It's a collision between two teammates. And Hamansenya comes down quite heavily. Now, Ibo is the man who's just been brought on as a striker for Mozambique. And he's playing a rather lonely role up front for the Mozambican Mambas. Another little ball in there from Simpaza. Simpaza gets a return ball as well. Now Mwanza. Malaya's pulled across onto the right. And Mwanza decides to go in the opposite direction. This is Zimba, the scorer of the only goal of the match. Zimba gets himself in space. Answer before Liteta. And once again, Belmir has to be brave. Flick on from Manesu. Mozambique not able to benefit from the second ball. Simpasa. Mwanza. Oh, it's a good challenge from Larson. Clearance from Eduardo, who's behaving himself for the moment. He knows that he can ill afford another rash challenge. Simpasa all the way back to Cagliati. Fans are loving it here in Lilongwe. Malaya looking for Zimba. Clearance from Adiano. Very close to the half-hour mark in this intriguing match at the Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe. Very close to seeing a substitution as well from Zambia. Simpaza, Malaya, Uyendo. It's a nice cut inside from Uyendo. Then the pace that takes him to Liteta, who's playing a much more forward role. And then eventually the left-sided fullback does pull the trigger. Not with any great effect, to be honest. So finally we'll have substitution time, and it's going to be Stanley Nyamikwe who's going to make way. Luketekelo Kapoa is going to come on in his place. He's a 15-year-old from Mokved, and he's a striker. Comes on for a winger. Nyamikwe has had opportunities today, the 14-year-old playing wide on the left-hand side. But he's not going to play any further part, not in this one anyway. It's a round of applause from the coaching staff. There's the player down for Zambia now. Is that Oriendo, the left-sided fullback. Been quite a torrid match between these two sides. Unforgiving, much more defending done by Mozambique than Zambia, but Zambia have failed to find the spaces. They failed to unlock the defences of Mozambique, except for that one occasion when Marcel Zimba found the back of the net. And suddenly he pulled himself away from being a central striker out towards the left-hand side, almost the left winger position, and cut inside the defence of Adiano and slot past. It's the only goal of the match so far. But just for the moment, Zambia down to 10. Uyendo was the player that was injured. We're waiting for permission to be granted for him to come back onto the field of play. And Nesu in the meantime, looking for Ibo. Look where Leteta finds himself, still deputising in defence. And Mwanza, there's a little bit of a support from Simpasa. Goes directly into the middle though, that didn't quite work out. Hamansenya. This is Malaya. Simpasa. And Zambia continue the hard work that they've been doing the entire match so far. There'll be some tied legs in both camps, no doubt. It's never easy to stop and turn all the time. There's a shot that's parried wide. It's a tremendous save from Belmiro. And he really has made a couple of top saves tonight. Motsepe pulls the trigger. The save had to be made. Taking their time with getting the corner played here, Zambia. 9 corners to nothing. Now, what's happened in there? Oh, the referee finding a little bit of pushing and shoving inside of the penalty area, near the penalty spot, in fact. Worried face of Belmiro. Wants the continued protection that he's received all evening. Near post effort, Litete goes over the top. The fans trying their best with their support to get Zambia and all Mozambique into a position to win a football match. The support has been unwavering. Flick on was from Luis. Couldn't find Ito Ibo. And Mozambique are starting to play closer to the halfway line. These could be worrying signs for Zambia. Some more of the Zambian contingent. Oh, and suddenly we shy and we see ourselves on the big screen. Fall forward by Eduardo. This is Simpasa. Simpasa's nicely on the inside here to find Malaya. Simpasa again. Mwanza down the flank. This isn't Mwanza though. What's a nice little turn in there as well from Litete. It's another free kick though to the Zambians. Zambia want to take the free kick quickly. I'm not quite sure that it's in the right position even. Simpasa. Cut out nicely by Saide. But back come the Zambians. So much possession in favour of the Zambians tonight. Malaya and Mwanza exchanging passes. Just lacking the ideas to maybe snap at a second goal. It might not even be necessary because Zambia do lead by a goal to nil. 10 minutes in stoppage time, separating them from going second on the table on goal difference behind South Africa, who, if you missed it earlier, beat the Seychelles by 11 goals to nothing. There's a shot from Litete. Well, if that had rifled into the back of the net, it would have been game, set and match run Fields. But balanced on a knife edge, even though Zambia have much of the possession. It feels that Mozambique still can bare their teeth, or maybe its fangs. Michael, the third right-sided fullback we've seen for Mozambique this evening, after Duclides made way for Abdul, and Abdul has made way for Michael, who was playing in the midfield, and then he dropped over into a right-back position. Ivo doesn't have quite the pace to chase after that one. Zambia again with Mwanza. Running, gets it on the left boot, and Belmiro was just moving towards his left-hand side and had to change direction just a smidgen. It's a nice save from the youngster. I think Mozambique can be very happy that they've got Belmiro between the posts tonight. I haven't seen Mario in goal, but Belmiro certainly has earned his paycheck tonight, that's for sure. Simba back into the midfield for Perry. And Mwanza sneaks in front of Larson. It's good play in the midfield by the substitute Saide. And Nesu. Now Luis. Luis has got good capability. He's got some pace too. That's nice defending from Chimuka Luiendo. And Luendo has injured himself for the second time in the game. Simpasa, the nice little carry. Simpasa looking to latch on, but that's good work done again by Larson. And look at the players over the halfway line suddenly for Mozambique. Is this where Mozambique snatch an equaliser? Forward by Saide. Disappointing. Still plenty enough time for the Mozambican side to turn this match around. Starting to play that sort of football now, but while they're doing that, they haven't got the defensive strategy and structure available as they have had for maybe 80% of the match, and that could be their undoing. Simpasa. Mwanza will go on a run. The ball reaches Simba. Big deflection. Corners have gone into double figures for Zambia. Ball headed into space, and Liteta will head it tamely towards Belmiro. Might have even been Siami for that matter. Well, on Mozambique, being cagey here. Zambia win by a goal to nil. Yeah, that's not 3 points that they've gained. It might be worse than that, though. Good save again by Belmiro. Lovely through ball to Zimba, who was on a brace. Larson diving into the challenge. Belmiro has been absolutely outstanding tonight. Don't forget, a bit later in the FIFA World Cup finals, it's Argentina versus Australia. Well, I'll tell you what, Dario Montero is not afraid to make changes, and he's going to bring off the striker that he's just brought on, Ibo, and bring on Abena, who's much more of a defender from the Sportos. And that's very interesting indeed. Two substitutes that have been substituted. Mozambique have been resolute defensively, except for that one moment that Zimba found space from the left-hand side. Liteta forward. Zimba again. Can he work his magic for the second time? Oh, there was a big deflection. Maybe there's a bit of stoppage time to be added on by referee Kakananga. Kimpasa Mwanza, he's got a good strong left boot. Didn't quite have it dialed in on that occasion. Zambia's next match will be on Monday against the Seychelles. They'll be hoping to do similarly to what South Africa achieved in the lunchtime game. Mozambique will be up against the South Africans on the same day. It'll be round 2 of Group B. Available points in order to clinch a semi-final berth. Once you're in the semi-finals, anything can happen. Ball again forward by Malaya. Simpasa again. Siame. They've been able to have the latitude to play passes along the back pass or the back four because of the defensive strategy from Mozambique today. Header away from the danger zone, but there's green bodies in there. And that eventually is hammered away by Eduardo. But the referee saw a touch from a Zambian player. From the danger zone, but there's green bodies in there. And that eventually is hammered away by Eduardo. But the referee saw a touch from a Zambian player. And that eventually is hammered away by Eduardo. But the referee saw a touch from a Zambian player.